So, have you ever been talking to an AI assistant and just wished it had a perfect instant memory? Well, today we are diving deep into a new AI architecture that does exactly that. Seriously, it's built to mimic the human brain and it's designed to solve a huge problem in business where even a second of hesitation can cost millions. All right, let's get into it. First things first, let's set the stage. The biggest issue with a lot of really powerful AI systems today, it's not about how smart they are, it's their memory. When the pressure's on in those high-stakes moments, they can be surprisingly forgetful or just painfully slow. And it's a frustration we've probably all felt, right? You're in the middle of something critical. You ask the AI for a piece of info that it should know, and what do you get? A delay, a loading wheel, or even worse, some generic answer that's no help at all. So why does that happen? Let's really pin this down with a real-world example. Picture a huge B2B sales call. Millions are on the line. The client throws a curveball question about a conversation you had 6 months ago. A human expert, they'd have that answer on the tip of their tongue. But a standard AI, it has to go digging. And that pause, that tiny delay, it just shatters the momentum. You could literally lose the deal in that moment. The problem boils down to one thing: slow context retrieval. So how in the world do you fix that? Well, you don't just throw more data at it. You don't give the AI a bigger database. You give it a better brain. And that's where this whole new approach, inspired by human psychology, comes into play. And this is the big idea right here, a cognitive AI architecture. See, it's not just about storing information. It's about structuring it the way our own minds do. And the whole point is to achieve 3 key things: make it instant, make it reliable, and give it a truly deep understanding of the context. Okay, so when you first look at this, it might seem a little complex, and well, it is. But don't worry, this is the blueprint for the AI's digital brain, and we're going to unpack it together. This diagram shows exactly how all these different memory systems and data caches work in harmony. We're going to break it down step by step. The whole thing is built on what you can think of as 3 main pillars, and these are taken directly from cognitive psychology. These aren't just cool-sounding names either. They represent fundamentally different ways for the AI to store, process, and understand information. Let's look at what each one actually does. And this is where it gets really cool and, honestly, super intuitive. First up, you've got semantic memory. Think of this as the AI's own personal encyclopedia. It stores the hard facts, company profiles, market data, technical specs. Then there's episodic memory, which is basically its diary. It remembers the timeline of events. We talked on Tuesday, they replied on Wednesday, the meeting is Friday. And then, maybe the most powerful part, procedural memory. This is the AI's playbook. It actually learns how to do things from what's worked in the past. It figures out winning strategies based on successful outcomes. Okay, so the AI has this amazing, organized brain. But organization is one thing, speed is another. How does it get the right information instantly? Well, the secret sauce isn't just in the structure. It's in a multi-layered retrieval system that's a lot like our own memory. Just think for a second about how your own memory works. The stuff that's right at the front of your mind, your working memory, you can access it instantly, right? That's the AI's hot memory. Then you've got your long-term memory. It holds a massive amount of knowledge, but sometimes it takes you a second to pull something up. That's the AI's cold memory. This architecture basically takes that concept and builds it with technology. And here is what that actually looks like under the hood. It's a 3-tiered system. Tier 1, that's our hot memory. It lives right on the GPU's VRAM, which makes it unbelievably fast. Tier 2 is warm memory on the CPU's RAM, still really quick. And Tier 3 is the cold memory, the full archive on an SSD. Now look at the latency. Look at those numbers. The difference is absolutely massive. 1 to 5 milliseconds. Let me say that again. 1 to 5 milliseconds. That's the access time for the most important information. That is literally faster than you can blink. This number, right here, is what makes seamless, real-time conversation possible. This is the magic that completely eliminates that deal-killing pause we talked about. So, the big question is, how does it pull off that kind of mind-bending speed? Let's zoom in on that first tier, the GPU VRAM cache, because this is where the engineering gets seriously clever. What's so smart about this is how it combines a few different strategies. First, it uses these highly specialized GPU-accelerated search tools, like FAS, for near-instant lookups. Second, it's picky. It only keeps the top 1,000 most frequently needed memories in this super fast lane. Third, it's dynamic. If a piece of info in the slower tiers gets used just 10 times, boom, the system automatically promotes it to the hot layer. And finally, it's a tidy housekeeper, constantly evicting less relevant stuff to make room for what's critical right now. But look, speed is only one piece of the puzzle. For any business to trust a system like this with its sensitive data, it also has to be incredibly smart and, just as important, completely secure.
This AI isn't just a static library of facts. It's always learning, always refining its knowledge. Every memory it has gets a confidence score. If a memory proves to be useful, its score goes up. And to keep itself lean and efficient, it automatically finds and merges memories that are really similar, more than 85% alike. Kind of like how our own brains consolidate related ideas while we sleep.
And this part is absolutely crucial for any real-world business application: security. All the data is encrypted, of course, but it's not just one master key. Each and every user's data is locked down with its own unique key. This creates total isolation, meaning one AI agent's knowledge is completely firewalled off from any other. It is truly private by design. So let's bring this all back home. We've got an AI with a brain-like memory, a lightning-fast caching system for instant recall, and the intelligence to constantly get smarter, all while being totally secure. What does that actually give you in the real world? Let's go back to that sales call one more time. The client asks that impossible question. But now, the AI doesn't hesitate. In under 5 milliseconds, it taps into its episodic memory for the client's entire history, its semantic memory for every product detail, and its procedural memory for the exact playbook that has the highest success rate in this very scenario. It delivers the perfect, context-aware answer, instantly. And that really is the ultimate goal, isn't it? This isn't just about building a faster search engine. It's about creating a true digital expert, an AI that combines a perfect memory with battle-tested strategy. It performs like your absolute best professional at their peak every single time. So, the bottom line is this. We're not just talking about a technical upgrade here. This is a fundamental shift in what an AI can actually do in a professional setting. And it leaves us with one final big question to think about. What new doors open up when your AI partner has a perfect, instant, and strategic memory